It's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. What it is? What it is? Yeah, what up, Tang Gang? Every time we go live, you know we do the damn thing. Yeah, we up in here like Muhammad Ali. We up in here. Yeah, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But the problem is these Christians wanna come around with these apologies, these apologetics. But guess what? It's just bullshit. Yeah, I heard you, Pastor. I told him to take it back to the pulpit. Yeah, that's that bullshit. And if you wanna get it, come get it, man. Yeah, cause we spit it. What? We spit it. What? Do you wanna do it, man? We get livid. Yeah, we get sick with it. Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Yeah, Tang Gang. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, Tang Gang. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. And a big shout out goes to all of our patrons, all of our YouTube members, and for everybody that shows up every time we go live. All of you are the rock stars of the Atheist Network Group. Remember that. Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Oh, hey. What? Don't forget. What? Atheist Handbook to the Old Testament. Volumes 2 and 3 are coming out. What? Get ready. Get ready. Yeah. Woo!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Atheist Network Group, also known as the Atheist Roundtable. Them's were the beginnings, and we ain't going nowhere. Anyway, your boy Oz is with you tonight. I'm rolling solo dolo. Solo, you can't hear me. Anyway, having a bit of a slap happy mood tonight, so bear with me. Usually when I get slap happy like this, the dad jokes are in abundance, so we'll see if I'm true to form here tonight. But the couple things I want to plug that we have coming up here. We have on the hold on, I want to make sure I give you the right date, because this old brain of mine, 23rd. On the 23rd, we have another UDC debate, so another Ultimate Debate Championship, and it's going to be and I think I saw Ricky in here, Captain Dadpool facing off with adherent apologetics in the age-old question or topic, does God exist? No, he doesn't. Boom, roasted. I won. That's how easy that debate is. Zach, he's a Lego maniac. There's Captain O'Captain. What's up, buddy? What's up, brother? So that'll be good. And then I'm missing another one. But this Saturday, and let me make sure I have the correct link here, because I'm pretty sure that I copied and pasted the wrong one now that I'm looking at it. Dead air. That's a no-no. There it is. All right, I'm put it in the chat here. So I'm putting the link in the chat, and I'll give a quick explanation on this. That way there's as little confusion as possible, and we can keep the waters slightly unmuddy. Unmuddy. So this Saturday we have our full day event, and kind of taking the place, not taking the place because it's just we postponed, it's not canceled, but we did want to do something for everyone, especially one of those that had already bought tickets or reservations or planned on it, to still offer something here in October. So this coming Saturday, on the 9th, we'll be having the online version of Better, with all of the same speakers that were lined up for the in-person event. The only one that'll be different is T-Jump won't be debating. I just, with all the speakers in getting them their time in, I didn't also have time for, a debate or two. So, but T-Jump will still be part of the in-person event. I just couldn't squeeze in a debate for that. But other than that, everybody you saw on the lineup will be there. And the link I just put in the chat is if you hadn't already bought a reservation or tickets for the in-person event, you can go there and to that link and purchase tickets for the online. And it's exclusive. It's not going to be a public thing. It's going to be exclusive for paying guests, or however you want to say that. And a lot of that money that we're hoping to, being transparent, we're hoping to generate from the all-day event this Saturday is really to help me recoup a lot of the money that I invested. Because as of right now, about 98%, and I'm not exaggerating, I'll even say 97 to be generous, 98% of the investment so far, as far as equipment, facility, all that has came out of Mrs. Oz and I's pocket, so we're hoping to recoup a little bit of that, just to kind of, take a little bit of a breather there, and all's well. It's not like we're, going to go homeless or anything, but when you dump out that kind of cash up front, and then you got to push it out another, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it was at the time, it would just give the wife and I a little bit of peace of mind. But we also wanted to offer something that way. It's not a whole nother 6, 7, 8 months before we actually, hold an event. So I'm excited. And I'm very, very excited that, Seth and Anthony and Dr. Josh and the rest, Dave and Cynthia and all of them, we're still willing to help this week as well. So the link, again, I'll try to remember to put it in there before we leave again. But yeah, that's where you can purchase it. And it's only the whole day event. And you get all of those speakers' original content that they had, or material, I'm sorry, that they had put together for this event. You get it for $29.99. It's very reasonable, and you get it from some of the biggest voices and presence in our community and abroad. So the link's there. Go get it. But what's up everybody in the chat? Thanks for hanging out with me this evening. And Healing Flow, I have no idea who you are, but I can already tell I'm going to have fun with you tonight. I think we're going to do a lot of verbal mamba. So I hope you can dance. Well, if you're into Christian apologetics, I already know you can dance. I'm here all night, folks. But anyway, let's do this. First and foremost, big shout out to Pasta Mike from Normalizing Atheism. He drove, was it 10 or 11 hours to meet me in Columbus, Ohio, where I lived for 9 or 10 years. and we got to shoot a lot of good content, for this video, but also we got tons of comedy shit, because you get Pasta Mike and I together in person, and it's funny shit. But yeah, we'll get into that. But thank you, Pasta Mike, for all your hard work in this, the recording and the traveling and the post-production and all that. And when you see it, this dude puts out top-notch content and shit, as far as quality, and I don't know, and maybe I'm being biased. I don't see anybody else, as far as what we're doing. I'm not saying just all of YouTube, but what we're doing, that's cranking out the content, the quality of content that he is right now. So big shout out to him, and also to Natey Nate for being the host there in Columbus. Even though I lived there for quite a while, it's been quite a while since I lived there, and kind of being the hostess with the mostest, I think, however you say that, and kind of driving us around, because Columbus has changed a lot since I've lived there. So kind of being our friend and everything, but also making sure we knew where we were going and getting us where we needed to go. So yeah, big shout out to those two gentlemen. And there he is, normalizing atheism. Much love. No. Much love to you. Thank you for the $10. And let me do this right quick. Link for Normalizing Atheism, Pasta Mike's channel, will be in the chat here shortly. Big shout out to Nightbot, the other homie. But yeah, so this video, it's about 33 minutes long, if I remember it, and it's a kind of a walk through my experience in church and Christianity and religion, with some other little cuts on talking to people in Columbus, downtown Columbus, on the streets, about religion, Jesus Christ. And there's some very, very funny moments, and there's some other moments you're like, oh shit. Like you kind of see an about face, so to speak. So, well, we got one more super chat, and then we'll get the video up. Bryce Aroni, thanks for the $10, homie. Hey, I love both of you. Well, guess what? I love both of you. This just turned into a big love fest. Big old love fest. All right, let's get to, as Pasta Mike would say, let's get to Vigia. Let's get to Vigia up here. And let's do it to it. And I'll jump in here and there, mainly to kind of give highlights, and just due to time, and some spots was either like audio because of the wind, or lighting. There was things that we didn't get to, as far as the timeline, the story, or whatever, and or it just didn't make sense, creatively, as Pasta Mike was putting everything together, which is totally cool, and that's why I think it'll be fun to do this, because there are some very impactful events here that we didn't really get to put an exclamation mark on, that we can do tonight. So now I'll shut up and get to the video. The ones that were there that just wanted to be my friend and cared about me because they care about me, the human, the person, those are the ones that stuck by and checked on me almost daily, if not every other day, whereas almost all my family cut me off. None of them I've talked to since, my mom's funeral. So there's a lot of separations there, leaving religion, where now I have true, authentic relationships and friendships versus these, I think, made up, convenient friendships, or, friendships based on convenience. And I do want to say something right there, because Pasta did premiere, and I watched it, and then can't remember if it was with my wife or who was watching, and I watched it again with them. To not have one of the fallacy police jump in here and, oh, Austin, that's a no true Scotsman. Only you're talking about friends. If you want to go down that path, I suppose you can. But if you had been a part of my life and a part of the journey, you'd see that it was not a fallacy. That was real life. That's what happened. I had a lot of relationships, or whatever you want to call it, that were based on convenience and, or friends for benefit, because my brother was the pastor, and, I held, a couple different, leadership or responsibility roles. That is, if I'm friends here, then there's benefits, or maybe I can get shortcuts. That's what I mean by that. And now I don't have to worry about that bullshit. So please, for the love of your God, don't throw the no true Scotsman out, because that's incredibly embarrassing. The loss of the pressure and living in that fishbowl where every single moment of your life, it's, oh, did you hear Oz did that? Did you hear Oz said that? Why is he doing this? Why is he going there? And just this constant expectation, wanting you to be perfect. You had this constant sense of failure and this constant sense of, I'm not good enough. I've never been good enough, and I'll never be enough. Because they always went back to the Bible and pointed out scriptures like, your works are as filthy rags. And they would go as far to explain what filthy rags meant in the original, text. And, that varies, depending on what church you go to. But at the end of the day, it just means you're a piece of shit. And you're never going to be good enough for God. You're never going to be good enough for the leaders and the pastors. You're always going to have to live up to this certain expectation that you actually will never achieve. That's one I hear on a very, very consistent basis when talking to others that have deconstructed and deconverted, or in the process of deconstructing, is I had this aha moment, or I had this epiphany, and I realized that no matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, no matter how much faith I have, how much prayer I throw up, I'm still never enough for the very being or God that created me. And supposedly created me and loved me so much that he knew the number of hairs on my head. He knew me before he ever formed me in my mother's womb. Yet and still, no matter what I do, I'm not enough. Now imagine that you are with a partner, or you're married, or you're dating, or whatever, and your partner, whomever, the significant other is, always made sure that you knew, and you knew well, that without their existence, you were shit. You weren't worthy. You were nothing. You would be nothing without them. Your identity would be stripped down to nothing. You'd have no purpose, no reason for living, Imagine that. I would never accept that from a partner. And I will never accept that from a God that has never cared enough about me or anyone that I know to show his face, to show that he is real. Fuck that. And real quick, we did get a super chat. I think this is for Leo. Leo says, thanks, gang. Leo the home dog. Thank you, Donna Badgero, for $49.99. God damn it, I'm paying the rent. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Donna. No, and there'll be parts of this that are serious, and we'll have parts that are definitely parts of this that are funny. But this is my life. This is my story. And you can like it. You don't have to like it. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to give you my raw thoughts and feelings and observations through this. So you don't have to watch and you don't have to listen. Healing flow. Can I just like maybe this is a little bit of advice. Like in a video like this, where somebody's you're obviously a theist. It looks like you're a Christian just reading the comments, but I hate to assume. But it may be very beneficial for you to listen to someone that was a believer for almost my entire life, as I go through my journey and what happened, instead of you trying to argue in the comment section. And then maybe you can relate better to folks that are where we're at. And if you then say, well, I've talked to other people before, that just then shows you it shows me your intentions. So either you can join in and have a conversation about what's going on here, or you can like argue, and I would just ask everybody to ignore you. I believe in freedom of speech, and you can go and type all that you want to type. Just we want to engage, you can say whatever you want. Yeah, this was the come up after the wreck. Come up here at Brentwood Lakes apartment, Columbus, Ohio. This is Austin Mills. You may know me as Oz from the Atheist Roundtable, better known as TANG, the Atheist Network Group.
My name is Sean, and I live in Columbus, Ohio.
And then if we go back to... I'm sorry I keep stopping it so frequently. I'll try to let it go here after this. But Sean became one of my favorite human beings I've ever met. And one, because he's hilarious, but you could tell he's being genuine and thought out, and like he's thought about this. And you can tell that he's done what I think a lot of us, or most of us here, have done. The sleepless nights staring at the ceiling, like, what the fuck? like, is this real? Is it not real? Who do I trust? Who do I believe? What do I trust? What do I believe? Like I could tell going through that conversation that he's one of those people. So you'll enjoy this. He's hilarious, but you can tell he's intense and still takes this subject serious. Your studies in college, and we just look at the evidence as far as literature is concerned. Could we say that we lack evidence that an actual Jesus, whether he was brown or white, existed?
Yes!
Game over.
Jesus, yeah, fake.
Jesus is a myth.
It is a storybook creature.
Sean, can you tell us why you're no longer in that field?
Well, I couldn't keep the dicks out of my mouth.
Commentary.
I couldn't
awesome,
keep the dicks out of my mouth. Look at my toes.
From the toes up to the nose.
Yes.
Well, you're fabulous. I gotta give you that.
So, I mean, like, I just couldn't do it anymore.
To the ball.
Like,
How long were you a Christian?
25 years.
A fair question would be, though, if you see something contradictory to your lifestyle in a book, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true. You could just like dislike something. For example, Austin was a Christian and learned of some slavery issues in the Old Testament. And it started his questioning. It went down a path of epistemology and found out that it might not be a justified true belief. Is it the things about homosexuality in the Bible, or do you actually disbelieve the divinity claims, the supernatural claims?
It's a good question.
Here's the thing. I think that, like, in divinity, I think there's a real God. And here's what I think about God. I think that the same God that maybe I believe in, like a Jew would believe in, or like an Arab would believe in, or anything. I think everybody has the same God. They just view him differently. He is manifested differently to everybody. And so I do believe in God, but I don't believe in the bullshit.
First of all, as Pasta Mike pointed out to me when he called me while he was editing and doing post-production, I did not expect on our conversation up to this point for him to say that he still believed in a divine God. And you could tell the look on my face. I'm like, okay, now I have to redirect my my thoughts and go back around, because now I'm kind of confused, because there's no way there's no way I thought that he was going to say that he still believed in a divine God. It blew my mind. And then again, last time, and I hate even give attention to the chat when we're live, as far as back and forth, but Healing Flow, again, I don't know if like you're Otangelo under a new account or what I mean, it doesn't look like Otangelo's arguments. Yours actually look much more put together, to be honest, but like, chill out. Like, just chill out. This is not like, there's certain episodes, actually most of our episodes, like, do your thing, like go in there, debate, do all that. These type of episodes we're reviewing like a like a mini documentary, or we're talking about somebody's story, their life story, things like that are near and dear, and they hit home and all that. Just like, chill out, bro. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you're a Christian, you know that your Bible even says that there's a time and a place and a season for everything. So either chill out, or you don't have to, like, you can go back and listen to this later if you want, but just chill the fuck out, bro. Like, nobody's coming at you nasty. We're just asking you to chill. And I've seen a couple of the mods in here that have asked you very, very nicely to chill. So either you could be respectful of myself, the host, and the mods, or we'll help you find a way out. Thus saith the Lord, Oz.
Like, non-vaccination bullshit these people believe. Like, so my parents' church, like last week, 3 people died of COVID, and they are still gung-ho on thinking that this is right. We are believing what we should. And people are dying. Like the very people that say we should respect God's temple, we should respect this, they're the very people dying of COVID. And like for me, like for somebody who's grown up in the church, it is like reprehensible.
Absolutely.
Like you believe in this God who believes in all these things, and you have people in your church dying.
So the one thing that that I do find interesting is you said you still do believe in a God, not necessarily a Jesus, but a God. So do you have a good reason to still believe that there is a God?
Not really.
Okay, so what causes you to still cling to that or look to that?
Probably because I was raised in the church. I went to a Mennonite high school. I went to a Nazarene college. And so I think probably part of it is me not wanting to be wrong about all those years. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't believe in that. I want to, but I don't.
Okay. And what do you think is the worst case scenario that would happen if you said, I don't believe anymore?
I don't know. I've never done that.
And what's your greatest fear in that?
I think, like, at the end of the day, like, I believe in all those, like, I've heard all those hell things and, like, repentance things, and, like, I kind of don't want to be wrong about that if I'm wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go to hell.
Yeah, and that's where I could share with you. For 30 plus years, I was raised in the ministry. My whole family are still pastors. I'm now an atheist, and now we go wherever we can have these conversations.
And I'm probably an atheist.
It sounds like you're damn close.
I mean, I don't want to. I think it's good for somebody to believe in something.
If it's been proven or demonstrated to be correct, yes.
So I think that's an interesting comment, and I actually do hear that from people that are either deconstructing or have adopted or are in the position of just straight, agnostic. That it's good for or healthy for or beneficial for someone to believe in something. And Mario, I just saw you jump in. I'm gonna tell you right now, we already had somebody in here going on and preaching and trolling in the name of Jesus. That's not like any theist, any Christian that comes on our channel knows. Normally we let the theists and the Christians and whomever run rampant and do what you want. This is not the episode for that. It's not the episode for that. So you can either chill with us and vibe and talk and hang out and all of us be cool, or see your way out. Like tonight's not the night. And after the last troll, I'm officially out of patience. So you can be cool or you can be removed. You got 2 motherfucking options. Anyway, that it's beneficial, whatever, for someone to believe in something. And I kind of follow up. I kind of followed up with here when we were live. Yes, if we have good evidence and we have good data or what have you to support this, then yes, but then we venture outside of belief into we know these things to be real. And I'd love to hear it from the chat, whether you are an atheist or a theist, because this is not a point of debate. And if it is, then let's leave it alone. But let's take the Yahweh or Jesus belief off the table, and let's talk about Krishna. Let's talk about Allah. Let's talk about Muhammad. Are those healthy things to believe in? Are those good things to believe in? Are they beneficial to believe in? Because if that's the case, and you say that as a Christian, then it should also be beneficial and healthy and okay for you to believe in Yahweh, Allah, Krishna, yada, yada, yada. Because that means the more things you're believing in, the more healthy you are. That's what I hear when people say that to me. So I'd love to hear, here in the comments or I'm sorry, in the chat or comments after the show, why is belief beneficial? Why is it healthy? And how do we know that it's healthy? How do we know that it's benefiting us? That's what and I'm being honest right now. That's where I struggle with belief. I don't know. And I have no problem saying I don't know. I don't know if it's healthy. I lean to know just based on my own personal anecdotal, and I'll say it up front, anecdotal experience. I lean to no. I don't want to believe something. I want to try to know as many things to be true as possible. But anyway, you'll hear the rest of this with Sean, and we'll keep going.
And that's why I asked you, what is the reason that you still cling to that? Because from what you've said so far,
I think because all the years I cling to it, I don't want to be wrong.
Well, none of us want to be wrong. We all want to be right.
I think that's why.
Nature,
I think that's
right?
why.
Anybody that's familiar with the Atheist Network group, my position is faith is bullshit because it doesn't get us. It's not a reliable pathway to get us to more true things than not.
How important is it that we question why people use faith and not facts?
Again, I think that's. I think it's critical because the one question I like to ask when I'm engaging with a theist or a believer in a deity is why faith? Why faith? If we had reliable evidence,
real quick, because Amuse Arena, I don't know if you're a theist or atheist. It doesn't. But the question you asked, it's irrelevant to me because it's a great question. So this stage phase number out of how many levels to activist atheism? I think I know what you're asking. So if you could please be a little more specific or expound on that, I would love to hit that. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what you're saying or what you're asking there. But yeah, please give more detail and I can come back to that. Faith is bullshit.
Data, something that we knew that we could, scientific method, measure it, observe it, so on and so forth. Why do we need faith? Faith is not required until evidence either doesn't exist or just disappeared and that thing isn't real anymore. The thing is, we've never had evidence for a deity. So I think it's important any and every time we talk with a theist and we engage that respectfully we push back on that word faith, because in my opinion it's just nonsense. Faith is nonsense. It's something we turn to make ourselves feel good when we do hold that God belief.
God damn it, I know I keep saying I'm sorry, so I'm gonna stop apologizing because it's probably just gonna keep happening. That's the faith is bullshit thing with me started. Oh God, if Apostle Mike's here, his memory is way better than mine. I want to say we were maybe 10 episodes in on our channel, and we had this young man come on, and he was aspiring to be in the ministry and a pastor, and every single epistemic question that I put in front of him came back to faith, and I was just getting frustrated. And I didn't lash out, I didn't get nasty or anything, but I definitely got assertive and forward, as far as my tone and all that. And then he said faith for like the 8,000th time, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, no, faith is bullshit. So that's where that started, just so everybody knows. But And I still love that. I put it on a t-shirt. It's still my favorite t-shirt, even though Pastor Mike makes fun of it. But then in conversations, not having fun, but serious conversations, why faith? Why faith? If we have evidence, we have a good reason to believe something. What? Why do we need? Why do we need faith? Especially if we're looking at Hebrews 11:1, faith is the substance of things not hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Nah, bro, I'm not basing anything in my life on faith. It's not reliable. So why faith? Why faith? Is God, if God is omni everything, why faith? Why is he reduced? Why is this almighty, all powerful, all loving, all everything God reduced to a word that is faith? Yeah, and Bryce just hit it there. I'll pull it up. Blessed are those who believe without seeing. Great. Bryce, I have a business plan. Perfect model. The projections for profitability and then replication and growth to even try to franchise and duplicate this model and this plan are undeniable. You want to see the plan? You want to see the model? And you want to watch it and observe it? No, fuck you. The only way you're going to profit from this business, the only way you're going to become rich from this business is if you sign on the dotted line and invest without ever seeing the evidence or ever seeing the proof that this motherfucker works. Does anybody sign on that dotted line? And if your honest answer is yes, I have tons of property down in Jamaica for sale tonight. Email me, austin@tart.live. This is where it all, the re-immersion into my relationship with God and Jesus and church and religion and faith and all that started. This is where Eagle Rock Church held their gatherings when I first started attending. My mom was the praise and worship pastor here for around 10 years, something like that. And this is where all the prophecies started.
Anything good with it?
No.
No?
If I were hiking, maybe.
And Brandon hiked the Appalachian Trail.
You know the Appalachian Trail.
For real?
It starts in Georgia.
Yeah.
If you're heading north, it starts in Georgia.
It sure does.
Oh.
Sweet.
Twiggy sucks.
Never blend in like camouflage. Know your whole life's in the hand of God. Always kept it real, couldn't stand the fraud.
Hey, let's go across the street and check out the new church. Now, when I look back at it, I understand that a lot of those things that I thought were real were things that were deposited into my thought life, then into my day-to-day life from the leaders, pastors, even parents, family members, things like that. And growing up and being indoctrinated in a church, this was the process of kind of sealing the deal on the indoctrination as an adult, and where you couldn't tell me anything. What that Bible said was 100% true from the beginning to the end. It was the God-breathed, God-inspired word. And this is where I saw a lot of crazy things and experienced a lot of crazy things as far as how leaders treated people if they didn't
give enough money, or if they didn't come to church often enough, or if they didn't participate in enough of the weekly activities.
Do you consider yourself an indoctrinated person?
Oh. All right. So one of the things on where I said kind of filling in some gaps and that kind of thing, I did want to jump in there, but real quick, Amuse Arena, thank you for following up. Are there phases of deconversion from believer to atheist in an outspoken way, like therapy stages, example AA? To steal Dr. Josh's line, that would not be my area of expertise. Now, having met a lot of people and talked to a lot of people, I guess the most popular or talked about phase for those that are deconstructing or deconverting is the angry atheist stage, and I went through that. Pastor Mike knows that, and he used to get so frustrated with me. And give me one good reason to tear a Christian's head off. Give me one goddamn reason, and I'm at their throat like a pit bull. Why? Because you are a representation of everything that's hurt me. The trauma, the abuse, the trauma, the lies, the manipulation, the bullshit. I did not take into account that you were your own person. You're a different person. You're not associated with or to the ring of Christians that I was involved in. It was just, you said Christian attack. And, my screen name, when I even before I had met Mike and the rest of the crew, and it bled into, the first, month, 2 months, whatever, that we were doing it. My screen name or username was The Atheist Asshole. And I wore that badge and that name proudly. I'll fuck your shit up. Right. So I say all that to say that that's the only, like, quote unquote phase that I've heard of. But then again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, anything like that. And there could be things that I'm missing. But I'm one that, since my deconversion, I go to a therapist at usually once a week, and I try to. Now it's here recently, I've started to kind of back down into a normal, more normal schedule after my mom's passing and everything. But yeah, professionally, I don't know. I wouldn't know how to answer that. But I think once you get through the angry atheist stage, it's just kind of like, we're all just here. We exist. Let's get along. And if bullshit comes up, let's handle it. That's what I've seen and experienced so far. So hopefully that helps. If not, then hopefully somebody else can provide some more insight. But going back to Eagle Rock Church. Now, those that follow our channel closely, you'll know that, and I do plan on resuming them. It's just been, with everything that's gone on, last 2-3 months, I've been trying to be more diligent and more more thoughtful with where and when I'm investing, time and energy and all that. But I do plan on getting back to the Let's Talk to My Former Pastor series. But old Lester Bowling and old Sheila Bowling were the pastors of still are the pastors of Eagle Rock Church in Columbus, Ohio. And that's the two churches, the smaller church that you saw me outside of, that's where they started. That's when I first learned of the church. My mom was the praise and worship pastor there. And then that bigger church that you only got to see a piece of it, but it's not too far from World Harvest Bible College, or World Harvest Church and World Harvest Bible College, and whatever the fuck they call that place now. Which it's all just what's the word I want? Oh, the word just left me. it'll come back to me. But it's just they all bounce between the churches. You know, they just go back and forth, 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 back and forth. But you know, I saw a lot of fucked up shit at that church. I got hurt a lot in that church. I have 4 beautiful children with my ex-wife, and I wouldn't trade those kids for anything. But I married a woman I should have never married because of the leadership in that church and how they led my parents and her, or my mom and her mom. Simply because she got pregnant outside of wedlock. And it was the right thing to do, Oz. If you're a real man, if you're a real man of God, you better marry that woman. You better take care of that kid. And me at 18, 19 years old, especially then, you can't tell me shit. Fuck you, I am a man. I will marry her. I will take care of her and the kid just to prove you wrong. Shut up. You know, and like the methodology behind it all, what was maddening when I look back at it, just absolutely maddening. But then from a leadership standpoint, less is, and all the puns are intended, less is more. You know, there was a time in my life back then that I looked up to this man and I respected this man. And I thought a lot of this man. And what I slowly and progressively found out is this man loved himself more than any of us could have ever loved him. And he thought more of himself than any of us could have thought about him. Then Sheila. And if you don't, please don't take my word for it. When we're done here tonight, what I'm getting ready to say, if you don't believe me, go to the YouTubes and put in Sheila Bowling, like we're going bowling. Sheila Bowling, Eagle Rock Church. This woman is psycho. She's psycho. The things that she said to me, my wife, the things that I heard her say from the pulpit, now that I look back at it, it's no wonder. It's no wonder that they have a revolving door at that church. And it's no wonder that more and more people that I reconnect with from that church have nothing to do with faith, have nothing to do with church, have nothing to do with God. Because it's toxic. It's poison. And if you don't, and I said this earlier in the video, if you don't live up to this expectation and you don't come, first of all, you don't give this amount of money and you don't attend every fucking conference and every time the fucking doors are open and every time they do a drive around 270, the loop around Columbus, Ohio, which is not small. If you didn't show up to do the prayer loop, who are you? You ain't no Christian. You ain't no Christian. And it's that constant reminder that if you're not doing it, you're not enough. But if you are doing it, it's still not enough. There's still something else that you can be doing for the church. There's still something else you can be doing for the pastors. There's still something else that you can be doing for God. And then I'll share this, and then I'll hit the video again, because this is one of the things that just because of the time and storyline and creativity, it didn't get left in there. But this church at one point had a mass exodus. Well, they had several. Well, I was there for good 8 years or whatever, but they had a mass exodus. And I remember on a Sunday morning fucking service, Lester and Psycho Sheila like had this goddamn scroll made, like old school scroll, blank scroll. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing, but it's very accurate to what the message was. This is a house of loyalty. This is a house of commitment. This is where people come to heal. And this is a church, wait for it, of covenant. Brothers and sisters, whether you are still in church or you ran for the hills as you should, when you hear the goddamn fucking word covenant, run for the fucking hills. That's cult shit. That's cult shit. And they literally wanted like single file line out of the fucking pews to come down to the front of the in the altar and sign this fucking scroll that you were like gonna pledge your allegiance to Lester and Psycho Sheila in Eagle Rock Church over everything. Fuck you. Even back then, I still didn't sign that shit. I was like, what? No. No, there's no goddamn way I'm putting my no. The fuck are we doing right now? Right. So that's just a couple of the little ones, you know, things that popped up. And then I said that was the last one, but this one's really quick. Not too long before, or I'm sorry, too shortly before I left, Lester got caught up in a sexual scandal with his secretary. And of course it was deny. Well, but Lester, if it didn't happen, if there's no truth to the claim and you weren't dicking down your secretary, why are you taking a sabbatical? Why are you stepping away? Why are you taking time off? If you did nothing wrong, then you were not unfaithful to your wife and you did not fuck your secretary. Why are you taking a sabbatical, Lester? Only guilty people leave. Only guilty people take a sabbatical in that situation. Your sabbatical screams guilty as charged. So, like I said, that's just a few of the shits. That's just a few of the shits. Let the video roll. Oh, hands down. I would have been, you know, the video that Pastor Mike and I used here recently on our YouTube channel was talking about indoctrination, especially with young children. I was one of those kids. If you would ask me, you know, when I was a little guy, Oz, how did we get here? How did the planet get here? So on and so forth. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
and you keep going. And that's just was programmed. And we knew how to recite every basic, okay, who is Jesus? What did Jesus do for you? God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, and you go through it. It's literally programmed and downloaded into your brain that when these questions come up, this is how you answer. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says, that's the truth. Because mom and dad or pastor, whoever said so.
That elevator does not like you.
And Neil Patrick Harris.
Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
So what do you guys do?
Right.
I'm curious.
No.
I see the camera and I'm curious.
We're atheist vampire hunters.
That's where
They're
they're at.
not vampires, Nate. I've tried to tell you that they're not vampires.
It says it's next to the white man.
They're lying to you.
This phone is lying to me.
God
Or
damn it.
so you guys actually don't believe in Jesus Christ?
I don't know.
Because when my dad passed away, I had a really hard time with that. My mom, my brother don't believe in Jesus. My whole family does, but my mom doesn't.
Sorry to hear about your dad, by the way.
My thing is with religion is, so my mom last year was in the hospital. She lost her legs and her fingers, and she almost lost her life. So we ended up praying every day. We prayed the rosary every day, and we believe, because she went septic, and she actually ended up just like going, her heart stopped for a little bit.
Wow.
So when we prayed, it really, I believe it helped her. So it's different for everybody.
Yeah. So I'm Jamie and I'm 19.
I'm Megan and I'm 20.
My dad passing was the hardest thing I've ever went through, and it helps to think that they're in a better place.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing for me that it's the only good reason to believe. It doesn't. I've never benefited in any way for praying, for believing, for anything. It's never benefited me, but to ease my mind for my dad, because that losing someone is the most painful. You can't do anything about it. There's nothing you can do.
I agree.
You have to comfort yourself somehow.
Yeah.
So that's the only my grandparents are very religious, and they've he's in a better place. Heaven is
Just real quick, what she said. I've never benefited from anything, yada yada. And but I need to believe for ABC is essentially what's happening. So remember that, because I had a different conversation with Pasta Mike, not even in context with what she just said. I think it's a little bit later in the video. Yeah, just keep that in mind.
The Lord opened his arms and took him in. I'm okay, whatever. I will think I'll listen to that to comfort me. I feel it's more of a comfort thing, but it's never done anything for me besides comfort me. Seriously. Okay. Me and my mom, my brother don't go to church. We don't pray. We don't believe in anything. My other side of the family is Christian galore, and I think it's really weird how they judge my family. My mom gets tattoos. I get tattoos. I do what I want. I just do what makes me happy, and I get so judged. I don't understand why the people that are so religious judge the people do it. You're so judgy, but you claim to be so you're good. And you're not.
And even I went to a Catholic school up until 6th grade, and went to church every day, every Sunday, every Thursday. I don't understand any of it. That's my thing. It's you go to church to try to understand stuff and do all this, but then they all still judge you.
What would you say if you were raised by Hindu parents or Muslim parents? What are the chances that you would be Catholic or you would be a Christian?
I mean, I probably would, because that's what I was raised around, but because I wasn't raised around it, I'm not. So it's yes, I would probably.
So do you think being raised has a big
absolutely
influence?
That's what I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
It really just depends on who you're raised by, what you grow up to believe. That's what your parents taught you. That's what everyone around you has taught you.
That's why I've been in the middle for so long, because I had one side of the family that was very Christian and very you know, my family wasn't. So I'm like kind of torn. But as I've gotten older and have gone through a lot of stuff, I just realized it's just not, it's nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's just, as you grow to be an adult, it just depends on what you choose to do and what you choose to show your kids, what you choose to let your kids believe.
So let's say we're in a relationship and we want to know the truth.
Yes.
We want to know what's real. Do we want to know what we hope to be true and that gives us good hope or maybe even false hope? Or do we want to know what's brutally real and brutally honest? Like, do we have a partner that we hope isn't cheating on us?
Yeah.
We hope isn't doing all the wrong things? Or that we can verify that they don't cheat or they don't do the wrong things?
Definitely not the
Definitely.
hope. No.
Yeah,
I keep it
I need to know.
100.
I need it. Like, it has to be spot on.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what you guys are like talking about. Like,
My greatest takeaway was not eternity. It was like, she just doesn't suffer anymore.
exactly.
I don't need heaven.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't need a hell. I just need to know that my mom isn't suffering anymore. You know, and I'm at peace with that. And the reason I share this, I hope that you can, you know, if you haven't already, that you can find that. It's, I don't need a hope of heaven or glory. You know, I can just know that, you know, mom, dad, whomever, they don't suffer anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick, where'd it go? There it is. Pat said, Oz, that may be one of the most honest answers regarding religion that I have ever heard. It only helps her when she is thinking about death and how she reconciles the death of friends and family. 100% agree. And again, because of, you know, time and editing and all that, there's a little bit of a time lapse there. And, you know, it really started out as they were like emphatic, like Jesus, God, it's real. And the more we kept asking, you know, kindly and respectfully asking questions, it slowly, and they did, we didn't do it. They unraveled themselves, right? And it started to unravel, and it got to that point. So but both of them said they're going to reach out to the channel, and I hope they do, because I think they had a lot more great questions still to ask, you know, to be able to learn and seek, and it not be, you know, at, you know, 19, 20 years old, you know, mom and dad or pastor or priest or, you know, whatever. So hopefully they do. But yeah, I appreciate that both of them by the end of it was like, well, no, it's just that you know, I want to see grandma, or I want to see grandpa, or what, you know. I appreciate that honesty 100%. And the, you know, the fact that they're willing to be that open and transparent with some guys with a, you know, with a camera, just, you know, I think Mike, the original question Mike asked him as we, you know, as we were walking to get out of the parking garage, was like, hey, do you guys want to talk about Jesus Christ? You know, or talk about Jesus, you know, and you know, at first the tall blonde, she was like, nah, you know, and the redhead was like, oh yeah, let's, and then next thing you know, they're both, you know, engulfed in it. So, but I digress.
Who are the people that have the biggest influence and control over whether or not they indoctrinate or teach and allow for critical thinking at that child level?
Mom and dad. Mom and dad, because mom and dad, you know, the pastor, especially at that age, the pastor doesn't really have any involvement. And even whether it's Sunday school or kids' church, whatever they call it now, they see the kids once a week. But it's mom and dad taking them to the church, then reinforcing the scripture and the dogma and the rules and the programmed answers, you know, Monday through Saturday until Sunday rolls back around, and then it's rinse and repeat, and then eventually you have a young, what was a young malleable mind is now a young programmed indoctrinated mind.
Oh yeah, whoa. Look, they can never keep me down, I'm going. And if I ever fail, just know I'll go again. I never quit, cause I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up. I bet when I land, they gon' tell me it's luck again. See that I'm winning, it's harder to watch. I'm setting the stage, you should give me my props. You ain't got no soul, you lacking the spirit. You talk out your neck, I'ma show you I'm with it. I would really hate for you to sit and watch me win again and win again and win again. I know it's probably getting old, me and win a synonym. So if I ever win again, it's nobody did the minimum. I didn't have to sell my soul. Oh, yeah. Please don't play no games with me. It was never about the fame to me. They needed the best, so they came to me. Whoa. Who the best in this thing? Tell them, yeah, that's me. Tell them who bring the vibe, say, yeah, that's me. Who make it flip, make it bang, ooh, yeah, that's me. Who make the party feel alive, tell them, yeah, that's me.
That's what we're doing. Literally.
Yes,
Now let's get to the questions.
I
actually
got
a
Bible
verse tatted on me right here.
What is it?
Psalms 23.
Oh,
First verse
I
I
ain't
learned.
miss you. So I had one right here, got covered up. We'll get to that in a minute.
I look at God as protection and like my, you feel me? Because I'm religious, but I'm not, you feel me? I went to Catholic school. I was raised by Christians and all that. So I took my own type of belief with it and I went with it in my life and applied it to my life. Like the Bible, I don't believe in everything in the Bible, but I look at it as a book of rules. You feel me? As a book of like where I should apply my life into what I'm doing and go from there. You feel me? So that's how I look at it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go straight for the judgment. Okay? Should any of us, no matter where we come from, social status, race, creed, religion, anything, should any of us put any hope, faith, and belief into a book that endorses and promotes slavery?
Fuck no.
Uh-oh. So why would you ever be a Christian?
Love that dude.
That's the thing. The thing about that is, happy. I knew he was going to get to that. I feel like he was going to get some. I was
never going to go there. You open the door. But
I wouldn't know. But like me, it's like, bro, people look at the Bible and be like, all right, I'm going to do this, that, and that. But at the same time, it's like, bro, do you really study the Bible? You feel me? Like, do you really understand women's fucking rights, slavery, all that? They use the Bible to promote certain shit. You know what I mean?
So then why would you or I or anyone place a belief into a God of that book?
Got him. That's the
question I asked.
So do you have resentment?
I won't do it right now just for time's sake, but Pastor Mike and I talked about it. If you go back and rewatch just that one little clip there. So dude's little brother, I think that's what they told me. Dude's little brother was kind of in the background. And he knows he did that quick walk away. As soon as that, lack of better expressions or terms, punched him in the fucking teeth. Right, we're downtown Columbus, Ohio. It's hype. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's doing the damn thing. And these dudes are. And what you don't get to see and experience is these dudes like kept following me and wanted to keep talking, which I tried. Like Pastor Mike and Nate like were way ahead of me at one point because I kept trying to talk to you because I love engaging. But you could tell it was several times the look, and I remember that look because I remember having the look where it's like, God damn it, I didn't know that shit was, I didn't know the shit was there like that, like that. It's there like that. Nah, man, you lying. And you could, especially on dude that did the quick walk away, the little brother, he was like, oh, fuck, God damn it. Now I have to go talk to mom and dad. Now I have to go talk to youth pastor. God damn it. God damn it. I'm a bearer of truth. I'm a preacher of the gospel. And your gospel says, thou shalt own slaves. You shall treat women like shit. You shall tell young ladies that if they're raped and become pregnant, they must marry the rapist. Thus saith the Lord. What kind of book? What kind of person believes in that shit? Get the fuck out of here.
Now, as an adult who's no longer holding those beliefs to your parents that indoctrinated you, and if you could go back in time as a child, what would be the questions that you'd ask your parents now if you were able to?
At this stage, resentment. No, I don't hold any resentment. I do feel, and I don't know that this feeling or sense will ever go away, but I do feel like I was cheated. I feel like I lost out on a lot of things as a kid because it was just constant God, Jesus, church, God, Jesus, church, God, Jesus, church. And I was never able to be inquisitive, to be skeptical and ask questions, because if that did happen, it was either a non-answer or it was, well, you just need to pray, listen to what God says. You need to have more faith. Look, God has showed himself to your dad and I over and over and over again. We know that he's real, and anecdotal arguments from mom and dad. But when I look back, I just feel cheated, or deprived of the ability to think for myself and to be my own human being. And I think that sucks. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for anybody's kids.
If you had an opportunity now to ask questions to your parents, or if you could tell children the type of questions to ask parents that may be indoctrinated kids, what would those questions sound like?
Well, for my parents, it would be a simple why, and now it's a big why. Why did you hold on to this? Why did you believe this? Because now at 40 and looking back, and now mom being gone, dad's not getting any younger. I've never watched or seen it or observed or experienced this God do anything for either of you. Why did you do this to me? Why did you force this upon me to where now at 40 I look back and I see nothing, no evidence that he was ever present, this God was ever present in your life. So that'd be a loaded why, but why? It makes no sense to me why you wasted your entire life, believing in that. For the kids, for the children, remember that mom and dad love you. They are trying to do their best for you. They have your best intentions in mind, but that doesn't always mean they're going about it the best way. And the questions that I would encourage, that I know I love hearing from my kids is, well, first, what I just said, why? Why do we believe this? And then once it's this, whether it's that's how they were raised or whatever answer it is, okay, so then why should I believe in this? What is a good reason for me, your son, or your daughter to believe this? Normalizing atheism to me is something that in 2021 going to 2022 is
real quick before, because this kind of the vibe changes a little bit right here. So before, and not in a bad way. This is Pasta Mike again, killed it on this content, but one of the things I've been God damn it. One of the things I've been thinking about since shooting that and then doing the final episode with Aunt Kathy and my cousins Nicole and Aaron is I've been like racking my brain trying to think of a way to gain more access to Christian parents, especially those that have kids at like, right around 10, 10 to like 13, 14 years old, and I know that's a small niche. And it may be a little younger, but definitely up to about that top age 13, 14, because then after that, if you're not helping, they're going to go get it every fucking where else in 2021, 22. If for whatever reason you're a Christian parent and you ever listen to this, and if you don't want to hear it from me, go check out Aunt Kathy's videos with her and her daughters. As now, as a 40-year-old adult, I look back, and one of my regrets that I really had no control over, but one of my regrets because of the indoctrination of my mom is I never felt safe asking questions, and I never it wasn't okay to ask questions, because in asking questions, it meant that you didn't really believe. And then they, as parents, took it personal, because then they thought that they weren't parenting correctly. And the reason I say I want to talk to the parents is you don't realize the long-term effects of that. And then for however many hundreds or thousands or whatever, they're in my shoes, that now the number one perpetrator, so to speak, but like she's gone. I'll never get to tell her the long-term effects and the trauma and the therapy and all of those things that I had to experience and go through because of those things. So my reason saying all that, like, Christian parents, like, create an atmosphere in your home that your kids feel safe coming to you and talking to you about anything and everything, whether it's just schoolwork and just the basic shit that a kid deals with, or if it's relationships or sex or drugs or cigarettes or alcohol. They need to know that you are their number one ally. And you're not to be feared. You're to be trusted and knowledgeable and forgiving and merciful, even when they do fuck up.
So critically important. And the reason I say that is I feel like we're at a crossroads to where we can really start to respectfully shine a light on bad ideas and bad beliefs. And atheism is finally kind of coming out of this shell of, well, if you're an atheist, you're just a giant know-it-all asshole and you think you're better than me, and so on and so forth. And with the most recent studies we're seeing as far as the decline in the God belief, and then the growth and the nuns, NONES, us being able to normalize atheism, I think now is a time to take advantage of that. And why? It should be absolutely normal for whoever's listening to this and watching this, myself as atheist, to walk into a restaurant, walk into a government building, a school, wherever, and it be perfectly normal and perfectly okay for me to lack a belief in a deity, period.
How important is conversations like what we see with Anthony Magnabosco, for example, Peter Boghossian, the street epistemology approach? How important is it to have a cordial discussion and maybe just ask people why they believe in the belief system that they do? How important is that?
I think it's huge, and I think it's one of the reasons we're starting to see that kind of that barrier dissipate between the theist and the atheist or the skeptics, because they see that we, not all, but there's a lot of us that want to have a healthy conversation and a healthy dialogue and really find out why they believe what they believe, instead of it being an attack or just a formatted debate with 10-minute opens and the next round and the 10-minute closings. They want to know that we actually do care, and that we want to ask the right questions to find out why they believe what they believe. And I think the more and more we see that, and the more and more the theists can experience that and know that we just want to have a chill dialogue and get to know them and build rapport with them, they're going to be more open-minded to hear our side of it and why we don't believe. So I think with Anthony's and Peter and all the other amazing people that do that, I think that's one of the reasons why we're starting to see that barrier break away.
So how important is it that we voice and encourage people to come out and speak up if they're being abused?
Oh, please, first of all, to answer the question, how important is it? It's critical, and it's critical for you if you're one that's been abused and maybe you've never said a word to anybody about it. It's critical because not only are you going to help you and you start to move past and deal with and heal from the abuse and then the trauma that comes after the abuse, but who knows how many people you're going to help after that hear your story and say, you know what, if they can talk about it and they can heal and they can move past it, I can do that very same thing. And unfortunately, the church has become they've become masters at manipulating, abusing, traumatizing, and then hiding and sweeping it under the rug and keeping people in a place where they're fearful to talk about the abuse because of what will happen next, the consequences of them coming out. Just know that there are plenty of organizations, plenty of people that if you have been there and you've been abused and you're going through the trauma and you're scared to death to come out, there's people that will help you. And we can get the links to all that and make sure you have that. But what they do and how they keep people under the rug is disgusting, and you don't deserve it. And those people need to be exposed and taken care of.
Freedom of speech. You're like a brand new atheist advocate. How important is it that you're able to voice your opinion and not be censored?
Well, it's again, being an activist or an advocate for a group that is a minority in our country, being atheist in a very predominantly, religious country, it's critical. Or I wouldn't have a voice. I wouldn't be able to talk. Now, I'm very grateful that I live in the country I live in where I do have that ability, because there's many other places that we wouldn't be able to do this right now. I would not be shooting this video right now without fear of going to prison or losing my life or so on and so forth. So I'm grateful that I live in the United States of America, where we can speak and we can do this. And for those that aren't grateful for that and take that for granted, I always hate saying this, but shame on you, because there's people that die for doing, what we do in other countries. But I think the importance in the United States of being able to be vocal and talk about it, with the amount of abuse and neglect and trauma that is attached to church and religion and all that, it's up to us, the ones that do have a voice and can have a voice, to speak for the ones that can't. And if we have that First Amendment right to be able to do that, let's fucking take advantage of it. We started our YouTube channel almost 2 years ago as the Atheist Roundtable.
God damn it.
What?
God damn it. Oh, Leo as well? How did Leo get in the shot? Leo?
Did he?
Hanging out, man.
Do you know this guy?
Did he go all the way to Atlanta to get Leo?
Leo, did you just fly in? He's always trying to steal the scene.
He was looking for this hydrant.
He wants the hydrant. Here it is. Came to see the hydrant. Hey, buddy.
God design, 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 God design. Never blend in like camouflage. Know your whole life's in the hand of God. Always kept it real, couldn't stand the fraud. We playing in different fields, I never ran alone. First things first, let me break the news. I don't really even got a name to prove. I'ma win the game, I ain't came to lose. Cause me and God tight like bathing suits. Afraid.
All right, now I got my bearings again. So let me see if I can just rewind that. Just like, yeah, here we go. So it's probably better like this so you can see it. Yeah. You can only see some of it, but so where Mike and I were at right now, this is one of the things, just because for creative purposes and the light, like in the because of the wind at that time of the day we were there, the audio wasn't that great. I really wish we could have used more footage down here, but it is what it is. Well, you can do Google searches, and you can see how notorious, this part, or in the hood we call it the projects. You can Google it and find out how notorious this place is in Columbus, Ohio. It is a colonial village in downtown Columbus, Ohio. I lived here for several years. It's so bad. If you know Pasta Mike, he's like 6'4", 6'5", whatever. Like, and he's not a scraggly, thin 6'4", 6'5". Like he's like a fucking big ass grizzly bear. And we pulled up in my old hood, and Mike has like 1 foot in his car and 1 foot out his car, and he's like, all right, let's like record 1 or 2 things and get me the fuck out of here. I mean, it's as soon as you roll up, you can tell this is not like, this is just not a safe place, right? This is not a safe place. And the reason I wish we could have got more footage from here is when I was here, this is probably when I was at my absolute lowest, like when people say the bottom of the barrel. yeah, that's this was the bottom of my barrel personally. I had, for most of the time I was there, I had like a 8-ball a day cocaine habit. I would drink about a fifth of 151 and about 7 or 8 beers just so I could get like 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. I was selling dope. I was robbing gas stations, restaurants, armed robbery. Like I was a fucking idiot, man. I was a fucking idiot. And the addictions, you know, one bad decision caused another bad decision, caused another bad decision, caused another bad decision, and then in 2003 or whatever, you know, whatever. My memory is so terrible, but I think it was 2003. Well, sorry. Before that, my ex-wife left me for like 6 months with a newborn, and my mom encouraged it because I was like, I had gotten that bad. And you know what? I've already been transparent of everything and talk shit about pastors and everything. So I'll talk shit about me right now and be transparent about me. I got so disgusting. I got so bad when I was living here with my addiction to cocaine. When it went from I was selling dope to, and this is why Biggie always said never get high on your own supply, because this is the shit that fucking happens. Is I went from being the dope boy to the boy that does dope. Next thing I know, I went from top of the world, and I like I said, I was the one selling the dope and making the money, driving the cars, doing the shit, right, to barely being able to pay rent or do anything. And as soon as I ran out of money and dope, I was literally scavenging around on mirrors and on the fucking bathroom floors in that apartment for just little crumbs of cocaine. Just to be able to fucking taste it, right? I mean, that's how disgusting that shit those addictions get. And it's just one bad decision after one bad decision after another bad decision. And I tell people now today all the time, my wreck, when that happened, and they had to resuscitate me 2 or 3 times, and I thought I was paralyzed, and like I thought that was the end. I thought that was the end. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I know that sounds sick or twisted or whatever. That was like the backhand of all backhands, where it's like, dude, wake the fuck up. What are you doing? You have so much, like, and nobody said this, like this was in my head. You have so much goddamn potential. You have so much goddamn potential and so many things that you're capable of doing, yet you're happy with this. You're happy with scavenging, being a scavenger on the bathroom floor where people piss and shit, bro, looking for crumbs of cocaine. Like, this is what you want? And that's when I was finally like, fuck that shit. Fuck that, man. And in the apartment you saw at the very beginning, when I was like, we were out back on the grass on like the little hill, and I was like, well, this was the come up after the wreck. Because after the wreck, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. And I literally since then have not touched an illegal substance. I've been clean ever since then. I was like, fuck that shit. And when I say clean, like I still love to drink, but I have not, no illegal substances, no anything. I haven't even smoked weed, like fucking nothing since since that wreck. But yeah, because I'm going to try to be fair. Like I've been talking shit about pastors and everything, but I have a past too. I've fucked up. I've done a lot of dumbass shit, right? And I did have this stretch of my life where I was a fucking loser. I was a fucking loser. If you would have told me when I was an all-state baseball player and had like college scholarship offers to play baseball, if you would have told me that just a few years later I'd be crawling around on bathroom floors where people piss and shit looking for crumbs of cocaine, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed at you. But good news is, here we are. Here we are, and I'm clean. I've been clean, and I'm actually, Mrs. Oz will tell you, there's only been like 2, maybe 3 times. If I show up to a party or even a bar, like where we have, mutual friends at, and they're like, "Oh, do you guys like coke? Do you guys like cocaine? Do you guys like blow?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, I'm out." Like I know I have an addictive personality, and that shit, no pun intended, to me, that particular drug, that's the devil. That's the devil. I'm done. I'm out. I'm good. Like I know my boundaries. I know what I can and can't do, what I can or can't be around. And as soon as that shit's even mentioned, I'm ghost, bro. I'm out. I'm out. You're not even going to be able to tempt me with it. I'm gone. So I wanted to make sure that that I brought that up. Then the last thing I'll say about this is, and I wish I could have found a way to do this earlier, in the video to make it a segment, but this is more my fault. This has nothing to do with Pasta Mike. This is my fault because I didn't get my train of thought and thinking together. But it was when I got in that wreck, which is what started the jump back in to faith and religion and everything, because here I am looking for pebbles, looking for crumbs of cocaine on bathroom floors, and doing all kinds of other stupid ass shit, to being in this wreck. And of course, friends, family, everybody that are believers and Christians all flood to the fucking ICU unit where Austin is. Why? Because we need to tell him that the only reason you're still here today is because God loves you, his hand is on your life, and he spared you. He spared your life today. That's the only reason you're still here. And that's what took the rest of the stuff you saw tonight, led into that, was you're only here after crawling around the bathroom floors and being in a near death accident. The only reason you're still here is because of God.
Got a thing to prove. I'ma win the game, I ain't came to lose. Cause me and God tight like bathing suits. Afraid of who? Fear ain't part of my composure. And this right here is for the culture. You watching innovation at its finest. We been fly, swag, live our own pilot. Hold up, I don't think they follow. My dad is an artist, I feel like Pablo. And if that's the case, I'm a walking Picasso. Throw me on the track and I'ma ride like a fossil. Who told you? Who told you? I mean, who told you can't do it? Who told you you're not fly enough? Who told you? You what? God design, God design. God design, God design. God design, God design. God design, God design. I know girls who quit to throw on the makeup. A couple of them overcoming the breakup. Never settle in life for the fake love. Cause you gon' pay a pretty price from the pay stub. I know a couple dudes looking for approval. Doing anything mundane and you.
Roger, nothing. Yes, Muse Arena. I am now in debt to Chance. Thank you to my Lord and personal Savior, Chance. And going sad story to hilarious walk. That's just how we do. And I actually appreciate that about not just this channel, but then normalizing atheism and our friendship, everything. We can go from where Pasta Mike has asked me, questions about that, and I'm in tears, and it hits hard, especially with everything happened this year, to where then I'm laughing hysterically, and I appreciate that, man. It doesn't have to be fucking serious all the time. But no, I don't think I have anything else to say on that video. I think I hit everything that I wanted to hit, that either we didn't get to include because of sound or lighting or whatever. But when even the part in when we got to my old hood, I wish I had Pasta Mike on here to talk for a second so he could describe it because he that motherfucker couldn't get out of that apartment complex, or he couldn't get out of that project fast enough. He was like, I'm out, man. Like, fucking call me when you're out. Like, I'm dipping. That shit was funny. But everything, no, I think we had everything else good, man. There's just a few things that I wanted to highlight or add to it that, that we couldn't do, when we were filming. But Materialist Dan said, is anyone up for Discord after? I was actually going to tell everybody, I'm going to jump in there for, let's see, it's 11:53. I'll jump in there for about 20 minutes, a half an hour. And I got some work to be done. But I did feel like I talked to a couple other people before this, and I felt like after talking to them, it would be a good idea to have a show. You guys can talk, obviously, as long as you want, but to have a few minutes there where if you guys had any questions or whatever, because having a YouTube channel, we're always doing the live thing and all that. If you guys have any questions for me or anything that I can help, really what I'm trying to say, in any way I can help, as far as whether it's you or a family member or, whatever, and going through that process, because it's there are the moments that are, there are moments that are simple, no doubt. But then there are other moments that are very, very difficult, and that you feel like giving up and you feel like giving in. And that's where if I can be an encouragement or a help to anybody, I want to. Don't give up and don't give in. There's always a way. So, man, I fucking love you guys, and thank you for your support. And again, I know I don't need to say I'm sorry, but I apologize for getting in the feels, because when I'm live, I try to keep it together so there's no dead air or pauses or anything, especially when I'm solo like tonight. But love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and we would not be who we are as far as the channel. We would not be Tang Gang without y'all. Not ever. But those that want to, we will be in the Discord chat here just in a couple minutes. Peace.
Yeah. It's the Tang Gang. Yeah, it's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. It's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Yeah, it's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Yeah, it's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Yeah, it's the Tang Gang. Yeah, it's the Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Tang Gang. Yeah, it's a Tang gang. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's take these beliefs and bad ideas and let's stack them up. Stack them up and see if these people can back them up. And if not, this is what you can do is just pack them up and go on your way. Cause you should have known everybody at Tang, we don't play now. Yeah, we need that evidence. We need that evidence to make shit relevant. So what you saying? What you saying, man? Can you prove it? What you doing? Let's do it. Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Tang gang. 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 Y'all already know. Y'all already know. Tang gang.